idea
Recording in
is
progress.
we need to be ready, the Tamil Nadu government, in terms of supplying the skill force, AR, VR trained skill force, not only to India, across the world. That is the idea. Now, before I start going deep into the topic, let's do a quick overview of this particular course. The course is called AR and VR development. For student, and the way the things are structured, it's going to be a 45 hours 2 credit mandatory course. And the way things are structured is there's going to be 5 days of online course. Each day is going to be 4.5 hours, 5 days. That amounts to 22.5 hours. After that, we will be coming to your college for 1 week of physical workshop where we will bring VR devices. We'll bring to make sure students are experiencing the AR VR devices. So we'll be teaching hands-on project development for those 5 days. The way the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, which is our sponsor for this course, the way they have structured this is there are 5 groups. Group 1 is Chennai and around colleges. Group 2 could be Kovai. Group 3 could be Trichy. Group 4 could be something else. There are 5 groups. So each, and there are close to 25 colleges under each group. Today we are starting with Group 1, right? Close to 25 colleges in Group 1. This 25 colleges will go through 1 week of online training starting today. They'll finish up by end of the week. Then their physical 1 week workshop will happen on the 31st of October for a week. And then Group 2 colleges, which is not you guys, we should not be talking about that, but in any case, they will be staggered. That means they will start the theory class on 31st. The week after that, they will have the lab. So that's how things are structured. And we'll be visiting all those colleges, 25 colleges in a week across 4 weeks to finish up. Right, so that is the overall. So hence, it is just not an online class. It is a hybrid class, as I said earlier. 22.5 hours of theory online and 22.5 hours, which is 4.5 hours per day for 5 days, will be physically be present in your college with VR devices for you to do, for the students to do VR development. If Sparks or any faculty would be interested to learn, they are more than happy to attend the class also. Now, in this course, the hardware that we'll be using includes mostly the Oculus Quest based hardware, and the software that we'll be using includes Blender for 3D modeling, GIMP for the graphic related work, and Unity for the actual development, along with the SDKs, which is based on either it could be AR-based SDKs or VR, which is Oculus Quest. Now, this slide just talks about why it is important. See, we did a good bit of convincing with the government that it is not enough that we do an online course for people to do, for students to get real development knowledge. They need to experience the VR devices. They need to do the development, and we have to be physically present. Hence, we have the hybrid flow. When I say hybrid, it's a mix of online classes and 1 week of physical workshop. So one of the difference, right, in AR VR compared to any other software development is the software typical development. You don't have to be super creative. You don't have to visualize the end solution. But in VR, since 3D, 3-dimension space is involved, if a student is creative and if he could develop his creativity, he or she would become a good AR VR developer. So it's a combination of creativity and using the technology umbrella along with the software development. These three combined would make a student a Guntu AR VR developer. And it is our intent, and we're going to work very hard with this box, with the college and with the students to see that we could impart this knowledge into the students and take and do whatever it takes to do it. I understand today there's a bit of hiccups, but it's pretty typical whenever we launch a large scale platform, and non-Mudhalvan platform is a large scale. I'm very sure by end of the afternoon, all the logins would be sorted out. So as I said earlier, I want to repeat one more time at this time, the enrollment process for the student into the AR VR course, for which they're going to get 2 credits as a mandatory course, will be complete only if they are able to log in into the non-Mudhalvan platform to make sure they are enabled. They see the AR VR course, they hit the watch button, they log in, they get rerouted into InGage LMS, and they watch the videos that are listed in every day. Only then they are considered as enrolled. Just coming to today's Zoom link meeting is not a replacement for enrollment. So Sparks, please insist and assist and empower and help the students to make sure they are able to log in into the, and please write to us if in case you have any questions. We are continuously, our team is continuously working with the non-Mudhalvan platform to sort that issue. So in terms of time, right? So we are 11:48. So what I will do is I will talk through probably around 12:30, because 12:30 could be the lunch break. Then we will take a lunch break. The remaining 1 hour, let's do it post lunch at 1:30. So you will get some WhatsApp message communication from our team, our AVP, Sri Asha. So let me again repeat. From now until 12:30, we'll have a session, and let's break for lunch. And I might take another 45 minutes post lunch for the remaining of the material that I have to present and share with you all. Now, this slide titled AR VR Course Outline gives you the breakup of the schedule and the timetable. If you look at it, sorry, the small mistake is not both are week 2, it's week 1 and week 2. Week 1 is completely online classes. Today is day 1. So we will cover fundamentals of AR VR. We will talk about various AR VR hardware software. We will talk about metaverse, which could be a new term for many. And AR VR plugs in as one of the key critical component for metaverse. Then we will talk about the applications of AR VR across various industries. Then we will talk about the various software platforms, both in terms of hardware and different types of AR VR, and for software development. We'll talk about that. And there are videos, as I said earlier. The last topic is installing Unity. Unity is a critical software that you'll be learning for the development. Every student needs to know. They also need to know the Blender. So those, the ones that is marked in blue right here, is listed as a video on the non-Mudhalvan platform. So you should be able to go and see this video for the enrollment, also for the benefit of learning the Unity installation. So things that are marked in orange, 1, 2, 3, 4, will be a live class today. I'll be teaching those things. The ones that are in blue would be a video along with today's class. So I am recording this class and I'm going to post it as a video also. Yeah, and that's for day 1. Day 2 and day 3 would be all on Blender. So the way I have structured the whole 1 week is, today we got delayed, but starting tomorrow 10:30 to, in fact, I will do 10:30 to 11:30 or 12. There will be a Zoom link where students can come and start asking questions if they may have on the previous class, and we might give a quick overview. But we're not going to teach material on a Zoom link after tomorrow. Everything would be pre-recorded, the entire course material, and it will be uploaded into our LMS platform. So students have to absolutely log in tomorrow, and they need to see the course material as a pre-recorded videos. So the online class, the Zoom link live classes will be mostly for doubt clarification, interactivity, any questions students might have on the AR VR concept. We will answer all those questions. We can talk about the previous day topic. We can talk about those things. We want to give that opportunity as a live session, but all the course material, course content will be uploaded as a bunch of videos onto the InGage LMS platform, which you could come in through the non-Mudhalvan platform. Yeah, that's the week 1. So week 2, so day 2 and day 3 will be all about Blender, which is the 3D model tool. Day 4 and day 5 is going to be mostly on Unity, and also doing some development using AR. We're going to focus only AR because students will have access to the smartphones, and we will focus on AR. And that will be taught again, as I said, as a recorded video with 1 hour or 90 minutes of Zoom meeting where people can ask questions. That's day 3, day 4 and day 5. Then for this particular group 1 colleges, which is all around Chennai, in Chennai and around Chennai, I think we are scheduled to come to your college on the 31st for a week. And during that 5 days of class, face-to-face, we will be teaching all the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 topics. We will be bringing VR Quest devices. So you will have deep dive, hands-on workshop, training, development help in the AR and mostly on VR. And you'll be also doing a mini project. You'll be doing a mini project also on the last day. And there will be an assessment done based on the final project. And there will be a mid assessment also. So since we're talking about assessment, let me go through the assessment also. So the entire marks for this AR VR course is 100, right? And as I said, it's a 2-credit course. This 100 marks will be split into 3 divisions. First, during the online class, which is this week, there will be 25 MCQ questions that will come online on the non-Mudhalvan platform, which is InGage LMS. Students have to answer those 25 MCQs, and they will be graded for 25 marks. Now, when we come there face to face, there will be a mid assessment, which we will be giving when we visit there to the students. That mid assessment would be based on 25 marks. It is during the development, we have certain assessment, that's 25 marks. The remaining 50 marks would be the final project the students will do during the face-to-face, and they would present to us on the last day. That will comprise of 50 marks. So that's 25 plus 25 plus 50, that makes 100 marks, right? So 25 marks, MCQ, 25 questions online during this week. When we come there to your class or to your college, during that 1 week, once again, there are 6 sessions per day, 45 minutes per session. That amounts to 4.5 hours times 5, that's 22.5 hours. During that, there are 2 assessments, 1 mid assessment for 25 marks that will be graded then and there by our faculty who will be visiting your college. And there is a final project, VR mini project the students will do, that will comprise 50 marks. I hope I was very clear on the course outline and also the methods of assessment also. And we will be sending all those assessment marks back to the non-Mudhalvan platform. Okay, next. All right. So now that we have got the overall structure of our course, the assessment, other things out of the way, let's get into the topic. So as I said earlier, the topic is AR, VR. AR stands for augmented reality. VR stands for virtual reality. And they all come under the metaverse umbrella. So that's what we're going to talk about. So this, see, I want to set the context, right? The context of what is this metaverse, what is this AR, VR. So before I do that, I am presenting in front of you a simple slide, right? So these are the technologies that have evolved over the years, right from the 1940s until now, over the last 70 years. The initial computers or machines were primarily the batch uh, processing, batch-based computers. And that is one. On the Y-axis is the interactivity. So every bit of technology, every bit of computing that has evolved since 1940 can be described in terms of the kind of interactivity they have with the consumers, with the users. The early machines, right, from 1940 to 1970, were the batch machines. That means for you to interact with the computer, you have a floppy disk or a punch card. So you need to go and physically take the punch card and put into the systems, and it does the processing. You get out. That was the sort of the interaction that you had in the early machines, called the batch age. Then came the command line interface, CLI age, where the computers had a command line interface. It is more about what you see is what you get interactivity. So this you have to, then came the keyboard. I mean, primarily there was a keyboard, there was a command line interface, and you had DOS and various way of you interacting with the computers. Then after that, towards the 2000 time frame, came the GUI and the phones, and phones started with this simple analog BlackBerry QWERTY based board. Then came the touch. So that's where we did the touch interface, right? The touch interface. The phones that we have right now started around good 94, 95, and the touch came around 2000, 2004 time frame. So from then until now, all we have is the smartphone evolved from a BlackBerry to where we are right now with multiple cameras. So they all come under the touch and feel interactivity. So we have moved from a physically taking a punch card and punching machines in the 1940s to a keyboard-based command line interface to a touch-based to a smartphone or a tablet-based. That's where we are right now. Now, moving forward, so if you look at the way things are right now, if you look at it all the way through, all along, we have always interacted with the device as an observer, right? The content that you are interacting on the system that you hand is always fixed on the display, and you are able to interact with it. Now, moving forward is the immersive computing mode. Immersive as in when you wear a device on your head, right? It could be an AR device or a VR device or MR device, which will go through what they are in the future slides. You are now immersed in the content. You're not just observing the content, you are now in the middle of the content. So for that to happen, there's a lot of other technologies beyond AI, beyond the AR, VR that are coupled with this. AI, computer vision plays a huge part. Computer vision, which is a branch of AI, along with IoT, which is all the sensors, play a key part in bringing the immersiveness into computing. That computing is called the immersive computing. Moving forward, That's the way we are going to go. From a mobile computing, we're going to go into immersive computing. So we have uh, all right, 1 second. Yeah. So that's what we are doing, right? So if you can quickly summarize it, right from 1940s with a batch mode to command line interface to GUI to touch phone. Now we are entering a new phase from a workstation to a PC to tablet to a smartphone. We're entering a new phase of computing called immersive computing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And this immersive computing is completely enabled by AI, completely enabled by IoT. So in this course, along with the AR VR concepts, a lot of AI is built inside, right? Now that we have set the context that the interactivity is changing, the way we are consuming the content is changing from being an observer to the immersive where you are among the content. That's the way the industry is heading. Next page, right? So I want to establish one thing very clearly, right? As I said earlier, and this is a transition from the previous slide, right? All along, right? As I said earlier, we had always had a flat screen medium. We are observing content. Moving forward, we are entering a new paradigm, IT paradigm that is called the immersive paradigm. That's called the immersive content. That's going to be called as metaverse. That's going to be called as Web 3.0. And that's the way the industry is moving forward. So far, the enterprise in the last 3-4 years have adopted. Now from the enterprise, it's switching and coming into the consumers, right? And one of, or the only benefit of pandemic, COVID, the last 2 years was it helped in the acceleration of adoption of this virtual. So no longer people are required to be physically present. No longer they have to travel and do things. I think during COVID time, people have accepted and learned that virtual is fine for many of the tasks, and that has totally benefited AR VR and has accelerated the adoption of AR VR in the industries. Now that has been accelerated and accepted by the industries and companies, so-called enterprises. Now the market or the society is ready for consumption at a consumer level. So moving forward, you will see a lot of companies in the IT industry that includes Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel, Qualcomm, Sony, NVIDIA. Everybody is launching platform in metaverse or AR VR, which is the next IT computing platform. So there is no escape. So anybody to everybody in this world who needs to use a smartphone or a PC, which is pretty much 80% of the population in the world, have to embrace metaverse, have to embrace the immersive computing, because that is the new mode of computing starting a few years back on the enterprise, and consumer will start very, very soon. Okay, I'm going to wait for a second for people to observe this particular video. In this particular short animated file, what is being conveyed is Facebook has become a company called Meta. So I'm not sure how many of you, I'm sure many of you are well aware that Facebook has changed its name. Facebook, the parent company, the Facebook application still exists. You know, Facebook as a parent company has multiple applications that includes WhatsApp and Instagram and Facebook. Recently, this year, they changed the name from Facebook to Meta. Why? Why did Facebook change to Meta? Right? So if you let's take a minute to see what business Facebook is. Facebook as a company, right? Well, through the Facebook application, which is a social media, and also through the picture sharing or video sharing, Instagram or the WhatsApp, they are in the business of only one thing. They are in the business of connecting people virtually. Why do people connect virtually? They connect virtually to socialize among friends and family. They connect virtually for work, for doing business. They also connect virtually to play games for entertainment. So Facebook is in that business. Facebook is in the business to connect people virtually for personal reason, to socialize, for work, and for play. That's for the business. Then why would Facebook change name? The reason the Facebook changed name is because Facebook realized that the current world that they are in right now, which is 2D virtual world, is fast changing. For them to give a deep impact connect, it cannot be 2D anymore. It has to be 3D. Because if you look at it, other than the screen that we look at, which is in two-dimensional, anything around us is in 3D. Every physical item that we see around us, whether it's a human being or our house, the car, desk, everything is 3D. If that is the case, why does the screen or the virtual world is still in 2D? So if you guys look at it, right, a consumer or any person spends close to, in India, close to 7 to 8 hours of his time looking at a screen, right? So if you say that you're spending 8 hours to say 7 hours to sleep, so this 8 hours of you looking at the screen is close to 40% of your time that you are awake. And when you're looking at the screen, all along, we are seeing only 2D data. That is a 3D data captured by a photographer or a videographer or a software developer, and that gets projected as a 2D content on a screen. And Facebook has realized that can't be the world anymore. Moving forward, it has to be 3D, because once it is 3D, the immersiveness, the way you look at the content, the way you look at things is very different in 3D compared to 2D. You get a lot more intricate details. You understand the product more. You understand the concept more. You understand the subject more in 3D compared to 2D. Hence, what they're saying Facebook is all those live interaction and the virtual interaction that going to be there has to be in 3D. Hence, the word metaverse comes into play, right? Metaverse is nothing but virtual world in 3D. And Facebook wants to be the forerunner in this space. Hence, they are creating software platforms that will enable 3D interaction, metaverse. They're also developing hardware, Oculus Quest, which is the main primary highly popular devices. Oculus is owned by Facebook, and they're developing a lot more applications. And they had launched a new devices also last week, and they also have come with a new collaboration with Microsoft. So it's a very interesting time. Hence, to summarize it, hence Facebook changed its name from Facebook to Meta, mainly because they want to be relevant in the future in the 3D world, which is the metaverse. Yeah. Right. So before we get a little deep into the topic, what I would like to do is play a video where you will get a glimpse of how things are going to change for each and every one of us in the coming 2-3 years. For the enterprise, this has been already changing. So the video that you're going to see gives you a glimpse how things have changed for industries in the last couple of years, and how is going to change for consumers in the next 3-4 years. Yeah, that is the gist of this particular video, which I'm going to play right now. Enjoy the video, please. I'm hoping you're able to hear the audio also.
Let's take a look at what working in the metaverse will be like. Imagine if you could be in the office without the commute. You would still have that sense of presence, shared physical space, those chance interactions that make your day all accessible from anywhere. Now imagine that you have your perfect work setup and you can actually do Let's get together real quick for a debrief.
I'm free now. Let's jump in. Hi.
Hey.
So what do we think?
Everything's ready.
Great.
I'll prep it for the presentation.
All right. Good luck.
So we're gonna have an astrophysicist in the family.
Actually, I have to write this paper. Will you help me?
Let's take a closer look. What part of the solar system are we talking about?
Saturn.
You were taking astrophysics. You could study the metaverse.
Did you know the brains are made of billions of icy particles?
Really?
Metaverse is going to span from immersive experiences in fantasy worlds to bring simple games into our everyday lives through holograms. Maybe play old games in new ways. So, that's a little bit of well, it's not New York, but you know. I said, let me put my game face on so I can beat you. Okay. Check.
All right. So I'm hoping that you guys were quite impressed and quite intrigued by this video. If you just, I'm just going to play it one more time and stop it halfway through and explain what is happening. Yeah. Sorry. So what has happened so far is in the first part of the video, so typically if you look at any manufacturing company, right? In this case, it was an automobile, it was a car. They go through initial design phase, they build a 3D model, they build a prototype before actually doing the manufacturing, right? In a very simplistic process. When they do the design, when they do the 3D modeling, it is not one person who does it. You know, it requires a lot of collaboration between multiple teams, and the teams are not always present in the same city or the same country. They are spread across multiple cities and multiple countries. So it is very important that they need to collaborate looking at the design for the design development, also for reviews before they could actually manufacture. Now, the one that you saw is people wearing a device called HoloLens. When they wear that, the design comes in 3D in front of them, and they're able to see it, the 3D component of the car appearing virtually in front of them on the table. Not just that, a person who is the other part of the team, if they are in, say, in a different country, say Germany, they can wear the VR headset and both can be able to see the device together, and they would be able to collaborate it, right? So that is what you saw in the first part of the video. And the second part of the video, I'm going to play it now, where the same thing holds good for the entire town planning or area planning. If you look at it, sorry, God, sorry guys, I think I just messed up a little bit. Yeah. So if you look at it, you see that not only they're able to see the 3D, is also able to bring the other person virtually. That person is a avatar called holographic teleportation. In this video, you see the air traffic controller is able to look at all the aircraft on the air, and is able to bring in a supervisor also virtually so they could collaborate it. Right? Look at this automobile, right? The entire component is in front of him. This is very interesting. The way people are going to work. No longer you would need a computer screen in front of you. He's wearing a glass right now. If you look at it, he's wearing a glass. And once he wears a glass, that's a MR glass or AR VR glass. He has a screen in front of them. Right? So that's very interesting, right? So now that you saw a glimpse of how the future is going to be from all perspective, whether as a worker or a manufacturing engineer, as to a consumer, let's look into where things are right now. So as I said, the enterprises or the industries or the manufacturing unit have been using a lot of AR, VR for various applications. That could be for design, that could be for debug, maintenance, remote assistance, and whatnot. So this video is going to walk you through some use cases where devices like HoloLens, as I said, is a mixed reality device by Microsoft, and it could be also HTC Vive, which is a VR device. Also includes includes Oculus Quest. All those devices are being used by the enterprises for various applications, and I'm going to play a video that quickly walks you through that.
Microsoft's HoloLens AR headset has been added to triple hard hats on construction and mining sites to enhance worker safety. It's used by 20,000 ThyssenKrupp elevator technicians to make sure they're safely strapped in when making repairs. Chevron technicians wear HoloLens for otherwise precarious oil refinery repairs. These mechanics sit to stand inside a virtual jet engine while it's running to learn how to safely maintain it.
Folks that have mixed reality devices like phones are one of the trends.
AR training. In November, Microsoft signed a 2-year, $480 million military contract with the U.S. government to deliver up to 100,000 HoloLens headsets for use in combat missions and training. And the list goes on. Samsung's Gear VR headset is being used to train workers on new production line at Magna's optical parts manufacturing plants. DHL is using glass in its warehouses. Pacific Gas and Electric is using Heartwood 3D VR to teach employees about assembly.
All right. So what did we see in this video? Right. First, we saw that using HoloLens, uh, the person is able to visualize the design in front of him in 3D and able to collaborate. So that is the design process. Then we saw a person who is a maintenance engineer or a repair engineer or a service engineer. When he goes out to the field could be your home, or it could be could be any other factory or refineries. In this case, we saw somebody wanting to repair a lift, right, an elevator. So now typically what happens if a service engineer is very senior and a super expert, then he knows what to do. The other people during the training, or a junior engineer typically opens up a service manual or instruction manual and goes through any problem that is little more complicated than the simple issues. In this case, what you also might do in a normal cases, you'll take a video, send it to, as a WhatsApp to his supervisor, or they come back the next day to go and repair it. So what you saw in the video is when you ask this MR headset, HoloLens, the step-by-step instructions as to how to go about fixing that particular problem is shown in front of him, overlaid on the physical device. It's as if his supervisor is in front of him and helping him out how to fix the stuff. So all those step-by-step instructions as to how to go about fixing things, which applies to any industry, right? It could be a manufacturing, it could be even a surgeon. If a surgeon, when doing a surgery, he might need help. He might need help to how about doing a surgery. So all those things that requires a real-time help in doing what they need to do, whether it's a healthcare, it could be retail, it could be manufacturing, could be automobiles, it could be chemical, anywhere there's a need for you to do some service or a maintenance. The MR device plays a great part in giving us step-by-step instruction. That's what you saw in the beginning. Same thing, that could be a simple overlay. It could be also a actual actually showing in front of him through a step-by-step instructions, right? So this particular part is very close to a real world physical training, right? So this is what is being used right now. In fact, we have worked close to with 60 different industries, companies in India alone, where we deploy our products, both for um, sales and marketing, because it's not always possible for a company like TAFE or Ashok Leyland to take the physical equipment to wherever they go, right, to the retail units and stuff like that. So if they could bring the device, if they could bring the product, an automobile, in front of them to the consumers in 3D virtually, it's definitely worthwhile. And at the same time, the end consumers during the sales and marketing process can also customize the equipment to the like and see how to it looks. So there's a lot of visualization benefits that people get, right? That's what you saw. So it's in the design, is being used for training, is being used for post delivery sales and service, also used in sales and marketing. So whatever I said, this different part of the life cycle applies to every industry. It could be healthcare, it could be agriculture, it could be automobiles, it could be chemical industry, it could be IT, doesn't matter. It's used everywhere, right? So that is the critical component of what you saw in this video.
Microsoft's HoloLens AR headset has been added to True. Microsoft's HoloLens.
Yes. So I want to talk about this slide now, then take a break, because right now we are at 12:35. So we will spend another 5 minutes to talk about few things. Then we'll take a lunch break. So so far, if you can quickly summarize, I've said a few things like metaverse. Introduced the word AR, VR, MR. I showed you some examples of these cases, right? Now, let me introduce or go a little deep into the next, the one of the key topic I mentioned, which is metaverse, right? Metaverse is the topic, is the future. And to quickly summarize and and emphasize the importance of metaverse. Let me put it this way. Metaverse is the next internet, right? So if anybody and everybody who uses internet, in this case, close to 400 million people in India alone, which is almost 30% of the population, they use 6 to 7 hours of the time on internet doing various things, as I said, social productivity and things like that. Internet is used, and metaverse is going to be the next delivery of internet. That's how important it is. So before we talk about that, the next internet is is called Web 3.0, right? Web 3.0 is the next internet. We have traversed from Web 1.0 to 2.0. 1990, we started with Web 1.10. That is the initial internet, then came to 2.0, and now we are heading to Web 3.0. What is Web 1.0, right? 1990, when the internet was introduced, which started the entire internet revolution from all perspectives. So much for India. I think every person in this audience, as somebody within their family or outside the family, has benefited and improved the economy of their household or their community by getting a job which is internet based, right? So this initial internet, which is Web 1.0, was between the 1990 and 2005. What did it do? It was a one-way traffic. That means you open up the internet, you enter the URL on the browser, and you get a web data. This simple one-way traffic where you can only read from a server was the initial internet 1.0. And the initial e-commerce was built on it. That means it's purely read. You can only read information from the server. That was the initial internet, but that by itself changed the world, right? Now, around 2005 and 6, once we had the smartphone enabled, we had Web 2.0. What is Web 2.0? Web 2.0 differs from Web 1.0, where now it is just not only read. You could read from the server. You could also write into the server. All the applications that you have right now, including your Google Maps, your Swiggy. In Swiggy, what do? You place an order for a food. Then you able to track. While doing ordering, what you're doing, you're entering your credit card information, your profile information. That means you're writing into the server. Then you are tracking the driver's route. That means it connects to the GPS. All those read and write, the user-generated data, they all, which is driving the current internet. Your Ola, your Uber, your every bit of internet where you're able to read and write, your Flipkart, your Amazon, they all work on the concept of read and write. And that is Web 2.0, right? So from 2006 onwards until now, we have been using that particular and that has sort of revolutionized the entire internet and the industry, the IT, right? Now, what is the drawback of Web 2.0? The two important drawbacks in Web 2.0. One, it is centralized. See, if you look at it, guys, the Web 2.0, most of the products that you use are all free, right? So, WhatsApp is free, Facebook is free, Instagram is free, right? Why does these companies spend billions of dollars and give the product free? The reason this free is not really free. They are using you as a product. For them, each and every user who logs in is a product. How is converting you into a product? By storing your data, storing your consumer profile, your behavior, and he's storing it into central server, and he's selling that information to a advertiser who advertises your requirement so that he can sell his product to you. That is how the basis of Web 2.0. So what does it mean? That means your privacy is lost, and every bit of content that you use or exchange or communicate on the web is stored centrally. So this central storing of data is a issue for privacy issue. That's one of the key drawback, this centralization. So second drawback is it's still 2D, right? Everything you see on the computer screen is 2D. Everything is flat. You're not able to, you can, all you could do is worst case scenario, you could able to zoom in, zoom out, left, those kind of things, but still it's 2D. So let's quickly summarize. Web 2.0, it's fantastic. It has changed the world around us. It changed everybody's life. It made things easy, at the same time, a little more complicated, whatnot, but it has changed our lives, both from work perspective and personal perspective, both social and entertainment. The key drawbacks, two. One is it is centralized content where every bit of content that you have is sharing on the information on the net is getting stored by this company centrally. Two, it is 2D. The Web 3.0 main role is to break or solve those two issues. One, they want to make things decentralized. No longer it needs to be centralized. It has to be decentralized. That means when I share information, send a WhatsApp message from me to you, it doesn't have to go to the server. There's a peer-to-peer connection through the decentralized thing called blockchain. I'm sure you guys heard of the word blockchain. Blockchain is the technology that has enabled decentralization, right? So this blockchain is the technology that is making your Web 2.0 be more secure, be more decentralized so that your data is not stored centrally. That is part of the Web 3.0. The other drawback I mentioned was 2D. This conversion of 2D in 3D content consumption is enabled by AR VR. That's where we are here today talking about it. So Web 3.0 is the two main components. So far we talked about. One is the AR VR that's going to give people a 3D content experience, along with blockchain for decentralization constitutes Web 3.0. There are other things like the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which is the digital version of the physical objects, right? So this NFTs, which is a digital object, non-fungible tokens, which is a digital version of the physical object, along with this 3D simulated world delivered by AR VR, making the internet decentralized using blockchain is what is Web 3.0. Yes, and the currency that we're going to use, because internet currency is important, because e-commerce, you have to do e-commerce. In Web 3.0, that's called cryptocurrencies, right? Ethereum and Bitcoins. So these four components, AR, VR, fundamental, the base foundation, which is your AR, VR 3D world, along with blockchain giving decentralization, with all the physical components one has in the real world converted into non-fungible token called NFTs, with currency of crypto combined together is what makes the Web 3.0. So that is the future. Now, if you want to ask how big is this industry, every bit of analyst that one have access to, right, has very clearly articulated that in the next 7 years, by 2030, the overall metaverse economy is going to be between $8 to $13 trillion. That's huge. $18 to $13 trillion is going to be. That means every bit of content that we have right now has to be converted from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, from a 2D content to a Web 3D content through AR, VR, right? Just to put things in perspective, the overall GDP of India is only around 2.8, it's around $3 trillion, right? So this is a huge economy, huge job opportunity, huge market for which we as citizens of India, citizens of Tamil Nadu can be the global skill force. And since we're talking about skill force, you're looking at 23 million jobs, guys. 23 million jobs would be available, right? across all the phase, right from storyboarding, architects, metaverse architects, metaverse security, metaverse Bitcoin, metaverse blockchain, AR, VR developers, all combined. That's 23 million jobs with close to 80 to 13 trillion dollars market. If you are not ready now, you will lose the opportunity, right? So every bit of people, because every engineer, whether you're a mechanical engineer or a computer engineer or a software engineer or a civil engineer, we all use internet. That internet is changing as we speak. It's changing from a 2D world to a 3D internet called Web 3.0, called metaverse. And we, as the educator, as these folks, we need to work with the students, so the students are aware of this technology, understand how this is getting built, at the same time do some development, understand the nuts and bolts of the design and development of AR VR. So this course is going to talk about AR VR development. We're not going to go deep into NFTs or blockchain, but we will give some introduction to all these topics. But we're going to focus on AR VR because AR VR is the building block. It is the one that's going to convert our world from a Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. So it is very, very important for us. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to take a break, a lunch break. So it's 12:30. I'm sure everybody's hungry. So do you guys want to come back at 1:30? Is that a good time frame, or 1:45 or 2 o'clock? What do you guys think? When do you think we should reconvene? So I am going to stop sharing right now. You could give, and for now, let's fix a time. It's 12:38. So I will log in back at 12:35, and I'll wait until 12:45 for people to log in. 12, so at 1:45, sorry. So it's 12:38. I will log in back at 1:30, and I'll wait until 1:45 for people to 1:30. Yeah. So 1:30, we will start the class. 1:30 to 2:30, I should be able to finish the material. So guys, please log in back at 1:30. Yeah. For the next part of a very, very interesting material. So whoever you are, you need to understand this, right? Whether you are a developer or a designer or a consumer of the content, every bit of us, we will be using internet in the future. We're using it now, we'll be using in the future. So we need to understand this. We need to understand what is Web 3.0, what is metaverse, what is AR, VR, what is NFT, what is this new blockchain, how is going to change our life. And students, in the next tomorrow on day 3, day 4, 5, will work on learning about how to develop this, and we'll come there physically to your college to make sure you're able to do development. Yes, guys, thank you very much. Have a good lunch break. Whatever you're going to eat. Yeah, bon appetit. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
in the meeting?
We need to make changes.
In meeting?
End meeting.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
through the app. Okay, this is my home of any kind.
Instead, architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very
architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a very vast and smartphone of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind. Architects and engineers and construction workers are carrying a varied asset that is not one person of unique kind.